Quynh, how did you find this venue, and why did you decide, this is probably going to be the perfect place to hold this masterclass?
Yeah, it was really, I happened to be in a group called the Flower Power, and I actually meet on a monthly basis with real florists in Seattle, and it's just amazing. I think the community that we have in Seattle is amazing for the real flowers. We meet on a monthly basis, and we actually share information. We share pricing. We share like, where do you get flowers? How do you construct this? How do you do that? And it's just something that I just love that so much. And it's part of the reason why I'm bringing this to our community. It's just because once, like, wedding industry is a little bit cutthroat. People, photography is a little bit cutthroat. There's so many photographers out there. And it's just, I didn't want that for our community. And I want us to be able to have this platform to be able to say, hey, I have a question. Can someone help me? And I feel like our community, when we put that out there, people are like, here, I will help you. I will do this. I will do that. This is how you do this. Here's a video. I mean, it's just really amazing that our community is so open. And I just really want that. And I hope as we continue to grow and mature that we will still have that. And I love the admins that we have because we are all helping maintain that value and that mission statement. And so we actually change our monthly meeting every single month to a new location, either somebody's home or somebody's flower business, just to see on different aspects. And one of the thing that we met, and the person that you see on the screen, that is the owner. Her name is Nguyen, and her husband is Paul. And they actually built this beautiful place. They actually live on the property, and they built this beautiful venue. They have a nursery, which you see right there. They also have a flower farm, and her company is called Scatter Seeds, and they grow amazing flowers on this place. And not only that, they actually have a wedding event space. And it was just like all the different parts that I wanted to showcase to you guys, because we're going to be able to have a tour of their flower farm. We're going to have a tour of a wedding venue, so you can actually see what happens when you bring flowers to an event space. This is what you do. And so this had everything I wanted, and the owners were just amazing. And you're going to love them when you meet them. They're so down to earth. And the really amazing part is Paul built everything. He actually owns a landscaping. And so he built a pond on site. He built streams. He built waterfalls. He built the building that we're going to be working in. So it's really amazing just to see all this. And they're just amazing people. And that's the reason why I chose them.
Well, I mean, from the images, it looks beautiful. I'm really looking forward to checking out their flower farm and hearing more about it from them, about what they've done. So let's move on to talking about the instructors. We've already kind of indicated, and we've shared with you guys the list of amazing instructors who are going to be at this masterclass. Somehow we were able to get all of them to agree. So obviously we've got us three. But we've also got two photographers. We've got Carolyn. Kelly is on the next slide. We have Leah Griffith coming as well. Rebecca Grant. I'm sorry. And she's the, she's going to help us with the style shoot. And Quynh, you've been working with her extensively on the style shoot, along with Alicia.
Yep. And also Rebecca is doing a talk too. Can you go back to the screen?
Yeah.
So Rebecca's also doing a talk about how she's been in the wedding industry for a very long time. And she's going to talk about vendor relationship. And I think that is applied to anybody. Building business to business relationship is so important when you're establishing yourself as a paper florist, is knowing who to connect with. How do you build that relationship long term? So when they meet with other clients, how can they refer you to their clients? And it's just all about having your business to business, clients to business relationship building. And of course, Caroline Tran, she's internationally known. She's traveled worldwide. She's coming to our masterclass. She's giving us her mobile presets. We decided, should we do the camera, the big one? And it's just something that I think is more approachable for you guys if we just give you the mobile presets, because it's going to be amazing. She's going to be there to actually show you how to use it, which I think will be just amazing. Priscilla is going to be on site, of course. She's going to be showing you how to deconstruct a flower, how to make templates and draw and do your own paper flowers from that. So I think that's going to be really fun. And we're going to have our flower budget, you guys, is about $5,000. This is to bring flowers, to bring in. You're going to be surrounded by so much good floral products. Take it, break it apart. Let's draw templates. Let's make our own flowers that look like that. It's going to be so amazing. Leah Griffin's going to be there every single day with her team. She's going to kick off the masterclass with a talk about how the 10 mistakes she did when she started her business and how you can avoid it. She's actually gone above and beyond just giving a speech. She's actually giving you guys homework, and she's giving you a walkthrough sheet on how to evaluate your business, how to move it along, where are you at, things like that. It's going to be amazing. And she's there every single day. So if you have questions about it, bring it to her, ask her about it. And she's so open, you guys. As few of you have met her already, and you're just going to be blown away by the generosity that actually every instructor that we have that's going to be at the masterclass. Margie Keates, you guys, she's a powerhouse. She's also going to be talking about branding, and she probably, of all the paper florists out there, she has one of the strongest branding for customer service for her product. Like, if you see her flowers, you recognize her flower immediately. So I think that's pretty awesome. Can we move to the next slide? And then, of course, Kate. Kate, I know you're here. Do you want to say a quick thing on what you're going to be showing everybody?
Excuse me. Do you mean in terms of the flower we're going to do in the class?
Yep.
Okay, so I picked one of my very favorite flowers for this. It's an anthurium. It's a, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I don't have one in my hands right now. Just one second.
No worries. Kate is a local Seattleite. She actually lives a little bit south from me. We used to meet often, but as work, things get so busy. But I'm really excited to be able to hang out with her during this masterclass.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. It's this anthurium here.
It's so gorgeous.
The reason I picked this one is because it's for 3 reasons. The first is that I like to do kind of weird, kooky flowers. And this one is kind of unusual, especially in paper. I also wanted to pick something that would obviously be, easily incorporated into a wedding bouquet, into a bridal bouquet, without it seeming really, really, out there. But also this, I don't know if you can see here, but can you see the embossed pattern there?
Oh, yes.
And you can kind of see the curved leaves that come to the point.
Yes.
That's something I really wanted to teach in a workshop and haven't had a chance to yet. So I'm really jazzed about sharing that design element. You can't see here, but this is a very pale pink. And then it's got this light green detailing on the tip.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's what I'm doing.
That is so amazing. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. You guys, so Leah Griffin, as part of your swag bag, she's bringing her Leah Griffin pan pastels. So you're going to get 7 different pan pastels to play around in the class. And not only is Kate going to show you the pan pastels she's going to do, Margie's going to show her demo because she does pan pastels. And also Jessie's going to show how to use pan pastels. So I feel like pan pastels is such a great medium for crepe paper, and just to absorb that color and to add that luminosity that you can get with it. It's just amazing. And pan pastels comes in an array of colors, but I think Leah Griffin palette is just perfect for a beginners when you're just starting out in pan pastels. It's all the basic colors that you want to use. So I think that's going to be really fun. And of course, everyone already knows about Alicia. She is amazing, you guys. She is internationally known. She has traveled all over the world to teach classes. She's coming to the master class to not only show you how to do a centerpiece that we're going to be putting in the style shoot, she's going to show you how to do an invisible hanging chandelier that's going to go across a 16-foot tabletop. It's going to be absolutely amazing. We also have a moon gate arch which is a circular arch. So we're going to show you how to do the mechanics of that. And that takes a lot of product. And that's why our floral budget is so huge. It's just because we have to fill in so many different spaces. And not only are we also showing you that, she's going to show you a really fun hedge floral installation. So this is on this particular property for Pine Creek, there are so many beautiful green hedges. And have you seen some of the style shoots that people were doing where they actually stick flowers into hedges? The hedge is the mechanics. And so she's going to show you a really fun, we talked about different layouts, and so it's going to be really modern, really fresh, and it's going to be a great spot for you to get your headshots. So I think that would be really fun. So if you have paper flowers, and we're asking you to bring loose leaf, so if you have your headshot, bring it to your headshot, stick it in the hedge so the photographer can make sure that they get that product in the back, and you can tag yourself. So I think that's going to be super, super fun. And Alicia, being a paper florist, you do need to know a lot of different mechanics, especially if you're building things out. If you're doing centerpieces, there's ways that you can build your container so they can hold flowers to do that really modern, very like loose, crazy, but having that foundation in is so important. So she's going to teach you all about that. And Kelly Lemon, she's my favorite photographer. She is a local Seattleite. She is all about branding. If you guys follow her on Instagram, it's unbelievable how her clients have pushed her, promote her. Like from one bride, she was able to get 9 weddings. It's amazing. Just because this bride loved her so much, she just told everybody, showed them all the photos, and just was raving about the customer service that she had. So Kelly's going to come in and talk about that. And she has a wonderful presentation. As you know, I'm part of the Wedding Network in Seattle. She did a presentation on this particular topic. She got a standing ovation. It was one of the best presentations I've ever seen. So you're just going to love her. And then, of course, we have Dina Willer. She is, I've been her client for, I guess, 9 years now. And so as most of you know, I actually had back surgery a while back, and she was with me when I had back pain. And then as I became a paper florist, I have hand pain and posture pain because, you're always stumped over. So she's going to talk about that. She's going to talk about things you can do when you're by yourself, what you need to do to maintain and help you from getting tendonitis, signs to recognize if it's gone to the point where you need to go see a doctor or a chiropractor, and things you can do to lessen the pain when you're home. So yeah, we have a huge lineup, 11 incredible instructors in 4 days, but it's going to be so, so incredible. Okay, swag bag, you guys. Oh my gosh, swag bag is, I don't think the bag that we brought is going to fit everything. So we'll try to fit as much as we can, and it's going to be amazing. Not only is Quynh coming and bringing their crepe paper, you're just going to get rolls and rolls of paper from Leah Griffin, from Quynh. The student handbook is going to be there. It's going to be, I think, about 200 pages plus. So lots of information so that when you go home, you'll actually be able to refer back to what you learn. The notebook is there for you to write in your notes. And hey, Stephanie, I'm so excited that you're able to join us. So Stephanie's one of the Masterclass students. She's coming. She's a powerhouse herself. Like the caliber of students that are coming to this Masterclass is unbelievable, you guys. It's going to be just crazy awesome. And it's going to help you. I think when you meet other creatives like this, it's just going to stimulate you and make you grow. Sorry, I'm getting off topic. Let me go back. So the swag bags, I know. And so, of course, Pan Pastel is going to be there. You're going to get my favorite scissors in 2 different sizes, the Kia. And then also you're going to be able to get a whole bunch of glues. There's so much product. You guys need to help me. What else are we putting in there?
You got your posy box.
Yeah, my posy box. So you're going to get a whole bunch of wires. Not only are you going to get Italian crepe paper, you're going to get also double-sided crepe paper, the extra fine crepe paper. Let's see, what other paper are there? Like you're going to get 30 rolls of paper coming from this masterclass. So And not only that, Leah Griffin has offered to give you guys free shipping plus a 20% discount on her her line. So if you go to her website, and I think right there, and so what you'll do is, I think there's an email out to all the students, and what you do is you actually make sure that you put in the code, and you have to be coming to the master class to be able to get this, because she's delivering it to the master class, and it won't go anywhere else, and that's how we're able to do the free shipping.
Yeah.
We have to do it by March 18th, so we can get all the stuff ready and delivered, and she'll be able to bring it up to the master class. Yep.
Yeah, so we've got the vendors. So we've talked about Leah Griffith. She will be be providing us with a sample of her fine crepe paper, as well as her pan pastel designer set. So actually, everything that you're going to get from the vendors and in the swag bag, we're going to use at the class. So you're going to know how to use it. The vendors themselves are going to be demoing their products too. So they're going to have a table. You're going to be able to approach them, talk to them about their product. Some of the products will be there for purchase. Some of them will just be for you guys for the swag bag. Crochet Fini will also be providing rolls. We've requested specific types of rolls. So hopefully some of the Tiffany Turner ones will be in the bag, and then Design Master as well. They're going to have a table. They're going to demo their line of spray paints. They've come back to us and indicated that they're going to be providing us with slightly different plans. We don't have confirmation from them yet about how they're going to deliver, what they are going to bring, but we think that it's probably because shipping was an issue. So what we do know so far is that they're going to bring all of their colors there to the masterclass, and somehow they're going to distribute them, or we're not quite sure yet. I'm sorry. We're still finalizing the details with them, but they will be there, and there will be free products from them as well. And then we talked about Leah as well. And let's go into the itinerary. We've been working on this for a couple months now, trying to fit everyone, all the instructors in, and to really maximize the experience for you guys, and maximize the teaching and the learning that you can get from all of our instructors. So, oh no,
that slide didn't catch up.
No, it didn't. Okay, so we've been having technical difficulties. So let's talk about meals.
Let's go to the itinerary. It'll be fine. Just go to the itinerary. We'll just go through that.
Well, we'll talk about the meals. Quynh has a better idea because she's planned the meals with the chef.
The amazing chef.
Yeah.
So our chef is Chef Robert, and he is so amazing, you guys. I've eaten his food multiple times. It's absolutely fabulous. He's providing breakfast and lunch every single day. And then on the very last day, we're actually going to have a happy hour. So it's going to be pretty much during that time where you're doing your headshots. You're also not only getting your headshots by two amazing photographers, Caroline Tran and also Kelly Lemon. Dina is actually going to give hand massage to everyone on site. So she's going to actually physically show you what you need to do to be taking care of your hands, and it's going to be a really amazing time. And also Chef Robert is going to do a mocktail. So he's created these really fun drinks for us in small bites. So when we're doing the headshots, when you're not doing the headshots, you can be mingling and talking to all the different students. And then right after that, when all the headshots, and we'll do a group shots, we are taking everyone over to a restaurant, and we are going to be doing a wine dinner. So if you don't drink wine, don't worry. There'll be other drinks available. But I'm really happy Address Winery is coming in. They're an all-female winery. And I have to say, this particular masterclass is all about females, except for Kurt Finney, Michael, he's coming in, and the chef. Those are only two guys. But because our masterclass is all about females, I wanted to bring in another female entrepreneur. She does amazing wines, and I'm so excited that she's going to do a wine tasting with our dinner. So I think that's going to be really, really fun. And then not only are we doing that, but each evening we're going to do, some of the instructors have offered to come out with you guys. So if you have if you don't have dinner plans, we're going to choose a location every single night and say, hey, we're going to be here. If you guys want to hang out with us, you're more than welcome to come. It's totally downtime. And it's when you can just come hang out and get to know us a little bit better where we're not in the school surrounding. So I think that will be super fun and just kind of like relaxing and get to know each other on a different way. So I'm super excited about that.
Okay, so I just removed the share. Let me just share this again. So let's move on to the itinerary on Tuesday. So we've got the breakfast meet and greet. We wanted to do a meet and greet specifically in the morning as the very first thing so that everyone can get to know each other. And that's going to be an amazing experience because you're going to be spending the next 4 days with these people. And then we've got Leah Griffith, who is, like Leah said, Quynh had already said, she's going to be the keynote speaker. She's going to talk about her business experience and her mistakes. And then we've got Margie doing the branding. Margie's also doing the demo on pan pastels. Priscilla is doing the deconstruction, where you'll get to actually deconstruct one of the flowers from the flower farm and do a template on that. We also wanted to, like I said, jam-pack everything in. So a lot of our lunches, we're going to have panel discussions or something where we're engaging with each other and learning from each other. So the first day, we're going to have a working lunch and a panel discussion with a couple, I think 5 or 6 of our instructors to talk about the paper flower industry, how it's changed, and how to grow your paper flower business in the wedding industry. We're also going to then go to me, where I'm going to be teaching flower as well. And then we're going to end the day with Kelly Lemon and Carolyn Tran teaching you how to set up your home photography studio by using the flower that I've taught during the day as an example, as a product. So questions that we've had have related to the photography gear. Since the first day, we're already diving right into photography. We're going to take photos, obviously. So in terms of what you can bring, it's really up to you. I don't think you have to bring all of it. You can bring some of it. If you have a smartphone, bring that. That's going to be very helpful because most of us take photos with our phone on a daily basis, and that's our go-to. And also because Carolyn Tran is going to be talking about her presets, which are mobile presets. So those would be for your smartphone specifically. So you'll want your smartphone there. Shoot and point camera or DSLR, you can bring either one of them if you have them. Don't feel like you need to. Certainly Kelly and Carolyn will be present to explain how they use their cameras, so it could be helpful. But if you don't feel comfortable with it, or if it's too heavy or whatever, don't worry about it. Just bring one phone, whichever one you're most comfortable with.
Mm-hmm. And one thing you want to do is if you have a smartphone and if you're on the social media platform, make sure to tag everybody. We'll have a list in the student handbooks with everyone's tags, and share. We're all about sharing, connecting. So share what's going on in the Masterclass. Let people know what you're learning, and also, say hi to everybody. I think it's super fun to be able to I'm here. And it's always a fun energy to have.
Yeah, for sure.
And there'll be charging stations. So I'm going to try to do a charging station because I know batteries and charging your phones is going to be very important. So if you forget your power charger, we'll have charging stations. But there'll be limited numbers. So hopefully people will be conscious of it, and when their phone is charged, to let another person take their place.
So day 2, on the Wednesday, we start off with the farm tour. So it's a grab and go breakfast. We're going to get a tour of the farm. And in a way, Wednesday's the day where we're starting to move towards the flowers. So Kate's going to continue the paper flower side by teaching us how to make a flower. And then Alicia is going to teach us how to do the mechanics on arranging a floral centerpiece as well as the installation. So, Quynh and Alicia and Rebecca have been working day and night on this installation, the styled shoot, trying to figure out the logistics of everything. And we're going to learn about that because it's really, really important that when, a customer comes calling and says, I want this big arch, that you know exactly what you're doing. So let's talk a little bit about the flower arrangement first. We've had questions about what to bring, what the color scheme is. So what Rebecca has planned is for a color scheme that kind of moves from spring to fall. So it's not just very spring or very fall. It's a combination. We're looking at corals, since that is this year's Pantone color of the year. So coral, peach, burgundies with touches of blue and copper. So when you're thinking about bringing any of your paper flowers, consider that color scheme. So what you would bring for the real flower arrangement could be loose flower stems that you can incorporate into the flower arrangement. But we'll move on to another installation where your loose flowers might also be incorporated.
Yep. And one thing I want to touch on, the reason why we did that particular color palette is because we want to get this published. And we're going to talk about how to get your work published too. And when you do a certain style shoot, you can't do really the current time of the year. You have to have it a little bit more flexible. So that way, when the editor pick your flower, they're probably already thinking about fall. They're already thinking about winter. So you really need to think about a year in advance. And you want to be able to, and that there's a little bit of etiquette on sharing style shoot photos. So if you want to get your work published, you can't really share finished photos until it's actually released. Otherwise, the editor says, well, you shared everything. What else do I have to share? So we're going to be talking about the etiquette of doing a style shoot, the ins and outs of before, during, and after.
So Thursday, we move on to more of the floral stuff. We're going to be working on the installation throughout the day, but Rebecca's going to talk about working with vendors, which is, as Quynh has said, is really, really important, a really important topic, and Rebecca's fantastic at it. Personal note, I've never met Rebecca, but I did meet her virtually, and she seemed like she was just like, she had her team, and I think that's really important, hearing from her how she found her team. Somebody, people who she could rely on right away. When we asked for something, she's like, oh, I know somebody. I know this person. I know that person. And having that team there for you, supporting you, it's, for me as a client, I'd be so impressed, but also she's able to deliver your vision. That's really important. So it's really important to hear from her on that. And then here we have Carolyn Tran, and she's going to be teaching us how to use Lightroom editing on your mobile phone. So I assume she's going to then share her presets there. So that's why it's important to bring your mobile phone. And then we've got a speed mentorship round, and that's all of the instructors being available to talk to the students. And we're going to rotate. So it's not just going to be all the students and all the instructors. We're going to be separated into small groups so that you can have one-on-one time with each of the instructors to ask them any questions you want, really. So in terms of the installation, it's the same color scheme, coral, peach, burgundy with touches of blue and copper. Obviously, we want everything to be cohesive, and that's why we've kept with that color scheme. There's going to be a setup. Quynh, do you want to talk more about the setup?
Yeah, the setup. So I made some editing changes in the detail of it all. I'm like, Yeah. Okay, so the setup is, what you'll be doing is everyone's going to do a centerpiece for the long table, and it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. And so we already have a vessel picked out, and it's going to fit really well with the style shoot. And then we're also doing a hanging invisible chandelier, and I think that is one of the trends that's happening. So one of the things that we talked about was we didn't want anyone to get hurt climbing on a ladder, and so it will mainly be Alicia and myself putting it together, but we're going to talk about the mechanics of it. So when you do it yourself later on, you'll understand the foundation of how to put it together. And then instead of a circle arch, this particular arch is actually called a moon gate arch. And that's the proper terminology if a bride asks for it. So we'll be showing you the mechanics of doing that, and you'll be actually physically putting in foliages and florals and understanding how you need to keep the flower fresh. And also we can also incorporate paper flowers in that too. So, and we'll be doing that. And also we'll be doing a hedge floral installation too. So that will be super fun.
Mm-hmm. So lots of installations. lots of opportunities to touch real flowers, work with them, learn the mechanics, but also be able to incorporate your paper flowers too. So Friday's the last day. We're trying to jam so many things in this last day. With everything we've done throughout the week, with installations, with the tables, with the moon gate, right? The moon gate arch. We're going to be shooting it. So we've got some time at the end to do the style shoot, group shots, headshots. Rebecca, Alicia, and Carolyn are going to actually talk about how to put together a style shoot, which is really important. I'm sure a lot of, some of you have been asked to do style shoots or want to be in style shoots. So this will be very enlightening in terms of what questions to ask, what to think about, and how to yes. Style shoots are quite interesting.
Yes.
I have my own opinions on them, but hearing from them will be really, really interesting. Priscilla and I are going to touch a little bit upon actually running a paper flower business. And to some extent, we're talking about a creative business, not just paper flowers, because it's applicable to any kind of creative endeavors. So we're going to touch upon certain things to think about in terms of that. And then Kelly and Quynh are going to talk about branding and also the takeaway from the masterclass. So how can you take everything you've learned and apply it to your own business and to your own creative self when you get home? And then Dina is going to end the Friday with a massage, really. She's going to massage her hands, but also tell us how to take care of our hands because we use it so much. It's our main tool, really. And she's going to teach us a little bit about that.
Yeah, and she'll have a lot of handouts for you. So that way, not only is she visually going to show you, there will be handouts in the student handbooks. So that way, there'll be like pictures and things you can do and follow along. Because, when you learn something, you don't really remember it until you're actually like offsite and actually practicing at home. So we'll have like homework for you to do and things to think about when you're at home.
And then we end the day with the photo shoot. Like I said, we're going to have the photographers take the lead on that in terms of how to organize everyone so that everyone has the shots that they want. And we're going to end with dinner. So that's going to be the dinner that we're all looking forward to, that we're all going to be able to kind of mix and mingle and reflect on the 4 days. And hopefully every one of you can join because that's part of the swag bag as well. So the style shoot, let's go over that, specifically. It's a little bit different from the installations, but Quynh, you had changed this too. You had added things.
I totally changed everything. I'm like, oh my goodness.
So why don't you go through that verbally?
Yeah. So the particular style shoot, because we're going to get it published, is going to be curated in a very select way. So if you have, we're going to go over your paper flowers, and it's mainly going to be picked over. And Alicia's going to go over it and pick which one will work in the style shoot. So it might not show up if you do bring it, but if you're in your headshots, it will definitely be in there for sure. But in the style shoot, it's going to be very curated. We want to get a certain look. We're aiming for like Martha Stewart. We're aiming for like really big names that's out there. So this could be your chance to get your work published. So when we submit things, your name will be in it for sure, because you actually helped do the floral installation. So it's going to be really, really amazing. And if you guys have any questions, we're going to be on site to talk about the style shoot, or shoot us DMs if you have any particular questions. But we're still working out the nitty gritties, but we have probably about 20 vendors that's contributing to this particular style shoot. Not only are we having a rental companies, we have a linen company, we also have a stationery person, we have a calligrapher, we have floral, we have makeup, we have models, we have the wedding planner, we have the stylist, we have like so many names like coming through. I mean, it's going to be incredible. And this is like an incredible opportunity for you to actually be involved and understand the in and out of doing the style shoot. So what we can be also doing is, if you want to bring like your own bouquets, because we will actually have a model bride and groom. So boutonnieres, think of really modern looks and think about the color scheme that we're doing. One of the new trends that's happening is pocket boutonnieres. And if you just Google it, it's pretty much when the groom is wearing his suit and there's a pocket on the side and there is actually a bouquet, like a little tiny boutonniere display on his pocket. So it's not, so the mechanics of doing that is really fun. So what you do is you measure the pocket, you cut a little cardboard to slide into the pocket, and then at the very top, you leave a little bit up there, and then you hot glue your florals onto the cardboard so it stays intact. And so all he has to do is slip it into his pocket. And that is a really fun, very different and modern way to do a boutonniere instead of having it pinned or magnet on the lapel. So, and headpieces. So we'll actually also have, things that the brides can wear. So if you want to create a really fun floral crown or a hair piece, let us know so we can make sure that we have a makeup artist on site to be able to put that on particularly. Corsage. Think about like if you want to do a wrist corsage, if you want to do a corsage that the bride can actually pin onto her dress, something that's really fun and unique. And really think about the color palette, because we're going to curate it, but we'll try to shoot it in certain ways that you can actually have it in your portfolio. Or if you want to have your own camera there, have the bride carry it and then take your own photos. That way you can immediately have your own photos.
So we should talk, there was a question initially about centerpieces and arrangements. Alicia is going to be teaching us how to make a real floral centerpiece where you can incorporate your loose stems into it. So, and that's going to be on the table for the style shoot. If you want to bring your own centerpiece, you could, but out of all paper flowers, I suppose you could, but we probably won't incorporate it into the style shoot for the magazine. It could be something you can shoot yourself in the tablescape and use those photos for yourself. But I think we're trying to focus on something a little bit more cohesive, and having a paper flower, just one paper flower centerpiece won't make it look cohesive. So, the question is, do you want to bring your own paper flower arrangement? You certainly can. We've got a setup. We've got everything. You can take photos by yourself of it, but it won't be in the style sheet for the magazine that we'll be submitting, hopefully. Yeah.
And we'll have a separate table on the side. That way, everyone that's doing a centerpiece, they're going to get a little name tag pick that they're going to insert into the centerpiece. So that way, the photographers know which floral piece belongs to whoever. And so that way, when they send out the photos to everybody, it'll go to the right person.
So we still have a couple of seats left. And so we want you there. Reserve your seat now. It is $3,000 US plus applicable taxes, but there's also a payment plan available. It's a 2-payment plan from now until April. It's broken down into 2 payments. This is really a deal. Considering everything we've gone through, the whole full itinerary, the people, the instructors who are coming, the knowledge and experience you're going to get, not only hands-on, but you're also going to be listening and learning from a lot of instructors, a lot of florists, photographers, paper flower artists who have gone through so much, but condensed their experience into 4 days. That's, invaluable, I would say. And the other, my only other thing that I want to say about this is it's an investment in yourself and your business. It's about investing in your creative self. It's about investing in if you don't have a business, that's fine. If you do, it's about the business. It's something that when you go home, you can implement everything you've learned and elevate really your business and your artistry. Any other thoughts on this? We've had people ask.
We didn't mention, one thing we didn't mention in the itinerary, I don't know how it got slipped, but there's also going to be a speed round mentorship. And so at one of the particular days, we have set out a time where, because the class is so small and then we want to keep it small, is you're going to have an intimate moment with each of the instructors to ask your personal questions. And I think that is going to be a key point where you've already met with everybody, you've kind of gotten a lot of information, but now you actually get to sit down, have that one-on-one in a small group setting where you can ask your personal question, and you get to sit and talk to every single instructors. And that is going to be invaluable.
for sure. I mean, there's 10 of us, right?
11
of us.
Yeah.
And we're all going to be there in 4 days. And if you think about it, just meeting one of us at a time for a workshop or for a day, it would be a lot more expensive. But okay, I'm not selling this very well. I'm sorry.
We're not sellers. We're flower makers.
Should tell people how much it is after we've gone through the itinerary. So head to the paperflorist.org because the Masterclass website will give you all the information you need to know. There's going to be a link there to the Eventbrite page to purchase the tickets. And we really hope to see you there. We're going to go into questions now before the very end.
Yeah.
So some questions.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I'm never make too fast. Give me 1 second. I'm going to unmute you. There you go. Sorry about that. I went too fast.
So let's go through the list of questions, and then we'll go through the questions that are in the chat or that any of you guys want to raise while you're here. Okay, so we've had questions about what to expect to bring home with me. Obviously, it's a packing issue. You know, I have to figure out how I'm going to pack everything too. I mean,
I think the biggest thing will be the Italian crepe rolls.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to really think about, like how are you going to carry it on? I do believe if you put a bag and I think you can carry it onto the plane. I think that would be the safest way unless you have a really large luggage. But the only thing is if you pack it in your luggage, it might get crushed. So something to think about.
And
right?
Yeah.
And you can put your suitcase, like your fanny rolls. I regularly like travel with tons of rolls and I pack it in my luggage and it's fine on the airplane. Good. Like, yeah. So
awesome.
If you don't want to carry it on.
Yeah. And make sure you're going to get scissors. So you definitely need to check it in. So that will be really important. And you will not be able to bring any of the Design Master sprays on the airplane. It is not allowed. TSA will take it away from you. So that's one of the issues that we've been having. So that's something to think about. But we're going to try to see if we can mail it to you guys. I know a few of you are driving. So I know for a fact that if you are driving, they'll just give it to you and you can take it home because they'll probably have all these products and she doesn't want to take it. So you'll have that options too. Let's see what else. That's probably the biggest thing I can think of. There's going to be so much product. There's going to be pliers for the real flowers. There will be a very large, heavy handbook. There will be so many different art materials that you're going to be getting from this particular class.
I suppose the only thing is when you bring, some people will bring flowers there, paper flowers, and you may want to bring it back. Skipping to the last question, Quynn's offered to accept mail. So if you're going to have like bouquets and a lot of flowers, you can ship them directly to Quynn's address.
Yep. And then we'll just ship them back if they want to.
Yeah.
So what you'll do is just we'll save the boxes that you sent the flowers in. We'll pack it up again. And then if you guys want to pretty much let's see, we can either Venmo, PayPal, and I can just drop everything off at the mailbox. So, or we can just do online and then just print out the labels. So many different options. We'll figure it out by the masterclass.
Yeah. So what type of access will I have to the photos from the style shoot and headshots?
So what's going to happen is Kelly and Caroline from 2 different websites, once they get all the photos edited, you will have the opportunity to download it from their website. And we're giving them about 2 months to process everything. But most likely they'll have it a little bit earlier, but I won't promise anything. But the deadline for them is about 2 months out.
Yeah, so you guys will have access to all of the photos.
Yep.
We will talk later on before the course. We will talk about how to properly credit in the shot. It's a little bit tricky because we've got 2 photographers. We've got everyone pretty much contributing to it. So we'll talk about that at the masterclass as well. In terms of overall dress code.
Okay, this is what you need to do. It is a little bit chilly. Seattle apparently got snow yesterday.
And people in Seattle.
So it's going to be a little bit cooler. So I would definitely bring a sweater to your class every single day. We will have heaters. There'll be a fireplace. It'll be warm. One of the best tip I can give you is dress in layers. So if you get hot, you can take a little bit off. If you get cold, you can put a sweater on or a jacket. But hopefully it will not rain. I would definitely bring a rain jacket if I were you, because April is all about rain showers. But fingers crossed that we will have no rain during the master class, because we have actually a lot of plans to be outdoors just because of the installation that we're thinking of. But because of the space that we have, there's going to be really amazing spaces as backup.
Can I add something to that?
Yes.
Yeah, don't bring your best white dress that you don't want to get pan pastel on, because we're going to have all kinds of fun materials. And you don't want to feel like you can't fully participate because you're trying to protect your like gorgeous ensemble. So
Yes. And then for the dinner on Friday, I don't know if we'll have time for you to go back and change. So on Friday, you want to be doing your best because you'll be getting your headshot, and I think you'll already be dressing really wonderfully. So just wear what you wear for the headshots, and you'll be great. Seattle's very casual, so don't think about overdressing too much, but really think about your headshot. You want to be wearing something that the photographer's going to take something from, your head to your chest, and also something that they'll also take full length too. So they'll give you a lot of options from close-ups to far away. So think about what you'll be wearing. Think about the clothes that you'll be wearing. This is where your branding will come in. So if you think about your website or things that you want to attract the right type of clients, there are certain colors out there. So do a little bit of research and just wear what looks good. We're also going to have a makeup artist on site. I'm still working out the price point for you to actually get a makeup application from her. And she's amazing. Her Instagram handle is makeup artist Angela. And check it out. She's absolutely fabulous. Kelly Lemon uses her quite a bit. So if you go to Kelly Lemon Instagram and site, you can actually see her tag and check out her work. But she's going to be our makeup artist for the models.
And really, there's nothing preventing you from bringing a change of clothes.
So I would definitely say 2, because you're going to have 2 photographers. Take the opportunity and bring 2 changes of clothes. There are several bathrooms and places where you can actually change. So, but yeah, or bring a camisole and a top so you can just like swipe it out. It's super easy and fast.
We're going to have all the time anyway, so there's no rush in terms of changing.
Well, a little bit. You only will have about 10 minutes with each photographer. Because otherwise we won't get through everybody. It's going to be really fast, but the photographer that we have, Kelly and Caroline, are amazing. They'll get you. And the thing is, you'll be working with them all 4 days, so you're going to know them, and they're going to know how to bring the best out of you. And that's why they're getting paid the amount of money they get paid, because they know how to immediately make you feel comfortable. Do you need to bring a laptop? Yes, I would definitely say bring a laptop, because if you want to be able to take your own notes, edit your own photos, things like that, it's always wonderful to have that. Yes, there will be lots of Wi-Fi. It's a venue place, and so their Wi-Fi is capable to handle a heavy load. So I wouldn't worry about that. And then when do we start in the morning? We're going to start about 8 o'clock in the morning every single day. We'll have breakfast for you every single day. And then when we end, we're shooting for around 5 p.m. every day. That way, if you need some downtime, because I know a lot of people are introverts, and that's one reason why we're paper florists, is we like to work by ourselves. And so you have downtime in the evening, or you can come out and hang out with us. And then how do you suggest I support the paper flowers I intend to use for the style shoot? So if you're flying, I would say carry-on is the best. Just put it in a bag. I've also put things in boxes. And if you know how to package things, I've actually packaged, like the shoot that I just did in Los Angeles, I actually carried a big box of paper flowers. They arrived intact. They traveled really, really great. So just you can pack them that way. If you plan to mail it, email us at info@thepaperflorist.org. We'll send you the mailing address, and we'll ask you for the tracking number so we can make sure that it arrives safely. And we want to make sure how many boxes are you sending to me. That way we can have room to store everything.
So let's open up the let's open up the floor for any actual specific questions you have right now for us.
All right, it's going to be a little bit noisy, so but if you guys have any questions, let us know. Hey Jessie, can you turn off the screen sharing? So Jessa Parker says she has a non-floral question. So Jess said, if you have questions, let me know. I don't think I quite understand your question. So does anyone have any questions for us? Yes, hi Inga.
Hey, I wanted to know, so for the paper flowers we intend to bring, should we make sure that the stems have floral tape if we're going to mix it with fresh flowers?
I would say a few people, just because, and then raise your hand if you have any questions. And I think that will help hear it a little bit better. So your question was, there will actually be floral tape on site. It's going to be in the Posy box. And so don't worry about that. I mean, don't bring any tools. You're going to get scissors, tape, glue, pen pastels. There's going to be a whole bunch of tools on site. Unless it's something very specialized and that you love working with, bring that. But otherwise, don't worry about bringing any tools, because we're going to give you pretty much everything that you're going to need for the class. Hey, Jessa.
Hi. I was having a little technical difficulties, but my unfloral related question is, so I have a 4-month-old and I'm going to need to pump. Is there a room that I can go do that in?
Yes, there is a room. Yep.
Great. Okay, that's all I needed.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else have any particular questions that they want to ask?
Back to Inga's question, I think, and you can clarify this, Inga, I think she was referring to the actual flowers. So should everyone make sure that there is floral tape so they don't get damaged when they're mixed with the real flowers? Was that your question, Inga?
Yes, that was her question.
Yeah, that's what I would suggest. If that's what you're intending to do.
Is that right?
I think Jessie froze. No.
It's okay. Somebody starts talking, but no, I mean, Inga, yeah, if you expect to use it within I would just make all of them with floral tape, whether you use them or not, right? When you bring them there, whether you use it or not, just in case, just finish them with floral tape.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Thanks.
Great. Anybody else have any questions?
Oh, I have another question.
Sure.
Do you have any suggestions, like for our photo shoot? Do you have any suggestions, like any type of clothing that we should avoid wearing, like something where the pattern might be too much or something?
You know what? I would suggest looking at Caroline Tran and Kelly Lemon Instagram account.
Okay.
They actually do a lot of people photo. Look at all the people in their social media. See what kind of clothes they're wearing. And you'll be really surprised that they can capture pretty much anything. So I don't think there is going to be a limit on that, but take a look and see how they photograph things and how things are edited, and then you can get a better feel. But I would say bring the clothes that make you feel like yourself, and I think that's more important than does it have stripes, does it have too much pattern, does it make you happy, because the clothes you wear reflects who you are and your branding. So if you're striped, they'll make it work. So I would not worry about that.
Cool.
And then Kelly had a question. So we are only offering Caroline Tran mobile presets. I am still working out the deal to see if they can offer us a discount for their laptop, like for their. Oops. Hi. I'm going to turn you off for a second. Okay. So yeah. So we don't have anything for like the laptop presets yet, but everyone's going to get the mobile one. And it's really easy. If you transfer things, your Lightroom can transfer because it's a Lightroom presets. And so if you have the laptop one, you can also get the mobile one, and you can like edit it on your phone too. So it's super easy. And let me see. I'm going to go through the comments real quick. Yeah, of course, Kelly. So let's see here. I think that is it, right? Okay, yeah, I think that's all the questions that we have. And then
so if you want, we can, if you have any other questions, just DM us if you think of it after the fact, or share it in the Facebook group so that everyone else can see the answers as well. So it's about an hour. Let's end this meeting. We're going to end it with special videos.
Does Kate, do you want to do a quick thing to end the thing?
Quick thing to what thing? The surprise thing?
Yes. Do you want to do that?
Branding?
Yes.
Talk about branding?
Yes.
So I just wanted to talk a little bit about how I got started, or how I worked out my branding when I first got started. And I feel like I'm not the best person to talk about branding because I feel like a slacker in this area. But so not branding in the sense of like, okay, here are my labels, here's my logo, but just in the larger sense of like, this is the direction for my business. And so when the very first paper flower thing I made that I felt like, you know what, this is pretty good, was a succulent. And then I started posting on Instagram and people liked it, and I did mushrooms and stuff. And I found that whenever I got that feeling of like, yes, this is it, it was for some weird plant. So I made my tag, it's like unusual paper plants and flowers. And then I picked an unusual carnivorous plant, the cobra lily, as kind of like my mascot. And I have found that that's been so helpful over time to just have this kind of guiding principle of doing things that are a little bit, offbeat. And it was the thing that really drove home to me how helpful having that kind of anchor was when we were pitching book proposals. When we finally got an offer, the offer was for the title Uncommon Paper Flowers. And it was just like, boom, like I understood that they understood me and I understood them and we understood what we were doing together. And I guess I would just say like having, when you first start out, you do work that's either kind of like really exciting to you or feels more like, okay, this is an important part of the business, but it's not. I feel like, or it's not the main thing I do. If you can sort of harness that feeling of excitement and incorporate that into your brand, I just think that can be such a, there's a lot of times, especially if you work by yourself and you're doing project-based work, you can get kind of blown around, but having that central idea to come back to, for me, was really cool. Is that good, Quynh? Does that do it?
Oh my God, that's amazing. That was perfect. I love what she said because I think of all the paper florists, like immediately my mind pops to you for uncommon plants. Like you really step out of the boundary to create these botanicals that are just amazing. And I think you're definitely known for that. And I love that, each of us are known for something. And it's a part of our personality too. And I think that is part of our brand. And I think that's really important.
Yep. But it ties into that whole idea about like what you wear and the story that you're telling about yourself. And just really hope that it resonates in a way that's very authentic to you. I think that's what we're all kind of striving for.
Exactly. I'm going to mute myself because my niece is getting ready for her piano recital. I can hear people running back and forth. So Priscilla or Jessie, if you can play the video of the branding video, that would be amazing.
Okay, I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint presentation where we have the URL for that. And let's see. Hopefully that works. There it goes.
Hi lovelies, I'm Margie Keates and I'm the owner of The Lovely Avenue, and I'm jumping on here today to talk a little bit more about branding and how to set yourself apart as a unique brand. This is something that I will be talking a lot more about at our masterclass in April, which I'm so excited to see you guys, to meet all of y'all. But I wanted to jump on here real quick and just give you one of my biggest tips, which is to hire someone to help you define your brand. Now, I'm not talking about hiring someone to walk through your goals or your steps or steps to achieve those goals. I'm talking about hiring someone who their whole purpose and their whole job is to create a brand revolving around what you want your brand to become. So I did this very early on, and it was one of the things that has helped me the most. So I did this I started my company in 2015, and I hired her probably a month after I started my company. And obviously this was an expense that I probably couldn't have afforded, but I knew it was important for me because I didn't really know what I wanted to do or how I wanted my brand to grow. I didn't really know what direction it was going to go either, but I knew that because I didn't know those, I needed to at least have a foundation for how I could, or foundation to be able to fall back on. So that was my branding, and I worked very closely with my brand designer, basically picking the colors that I wanted to be associated with my brand, the overall look, the overall feel. I wanted it to be light and airy and intriguing and exciting because that's what I felt my flowers were. So we worked really closely, and this is kind of the product that you see in front of me is our branding. And this, like I said, was made in 2015, and I feel like now, 4 years later, almost 5 years later, it's still relevant, and it still looks like us. It's recognizable for the Lovely Avenue, which is what you want. You want your brand to be recognized. So I'll go over this really quickly. My favorite part about my branding is actually my business card. This is a card that's thick. It has a gorgeous foil edging. I'll kind of show you a little bit closer in the camera. It's very clear what our name is, and then on the back it's very clear who I am, which is something that you want to definitely clarify. You want your clients and your possible clients to feel confident on hiring you, right? So my card to me says that it's thick, it's soft, it's really unique. And so the minute that you hand it to someone, they're all immediately very impressed with the quality that you have. And I think that makes it easier for them to not lose your card, makes it more impressionable, and that way they're going to reach out and hire you. So my card was something that was very important to me. And then next is obviously our thank you cards, our tags. All of them have this general, they all are cohesive, right? So they have either this gorgeous hand-painted peony, or they have the script that matches our script in our main logo. And this is all something that I worked very closely with the brand designer with. This is her script. So I know that this script isn't going to be found anywhere else because she hand wrote it. These are her peonies because she hand painted these peonies for my brand. So this is something that I know no one else is going to have, and that sets me apart. And so in my darkest times, obviously there's definitely other techniques that I use to help me refocus on my brand, which those techniques I'll talk to you more about in April. But this was one of them. This is a pillar of mine that I knew I could fall back on and just go, okay, well, at least I have this, and I know that this is recognizable. So that would be my one main tip that I would give you, is to think about putting aside some money and hiring someone to help you at least create this very focused branding for you, and then that way you can build off of that to make that more uniquely you. So yeah, that's my tip. And then what I'll do is obviously go into way more depth while we're in the classes in April, but you're welcome to reach out anytime before then if you have any other tips, especially if you need to know of some great brand designers that I know here in Salt Lake, and we can get you in contact with those people. So anyway, it was so wonderful to talk to you guys today. I can't wait for April. I can't believe that's only a month away. I can't wait to meet all of you and be able to connect and teach you, and obviously you're going to teach me a lot of things too. So anyway, so excited to meet you. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks.
Hi everyone, my name is Kelly Lemon, and I am a wedding photographer based out of Seattle, Washington, and I am so excited to be teaching at the Masterclass in April. It's just going to be an incredible time. The two topics that I am teaching on, well, photography, obviously, alongside Caroline Tran. But then the other side of it is branding and client experience. And I'm going to be sharing about how to change and turn happy clients into brand ambassadors. And it's something that I'm really passionate about. But I wanted to give you a little tidbit on branding. So branding is kind of like the personality behind your company, behind your business. And one way you can kind of figure out like, okay, brand is also like colors, right? It's like the coloring, it's the logo, it's the design, it's like the imagery. And so for me, one way I found my coloring for my brand was I opened my closet. No joke. So I opened my closet and I saw what do I gravitate to naturally? And I saw my whole closet was full of earth tones and neutrals. So I wear a lot of grays and whites and like army green and or just like a sage green, like a natural greens. And a lot of, and so like, yeah, black, white, gray, and natural greens. And like this like caramel leather color. So it's just funny because like I wear earth tones, but I always have an accessory that's gold. It's just kind of what I go to. So that actually became my branding colors for my company. And it's such a perfect fit because it's the colors that I naturally am drawn to. And so I can, everything kind of fits into that color scheme for me. So just kind of one easy tip if you're trying to figure out what colors you should do for your website. Start with what you like. Look at your closet. Are you someone who loves pops of bright color? Are you someone who loves like, black and white? Figure out kind of what speaks to you naturally, and that's a great place to start. So hopefully that tip is helpful as you are thinking about branding for your company. But we will be diving in deep into turning happy clients into brand ambassadors and telling your story through your brand at the workshop. So I hope you guys will join us. It's definitely going to be an incredible week with incredible speakers. And I am honored to be on the speaker lineup and excited to share a little bit of my heart. So hopefully that was helpful today. I hope you have a great day and we will see you in April.
Friends, it's Rebecca Grant, the owner of New Creations Wedding Planning here based out of Seattle. I wanted to chat with you about branding and how I found my specific brand and niche here in the Seattle market. I have a few key points that kind of sets me apart from other planners and other vendors here in the Seattle area. First of all, I actually specialize in Asian weddings. I have been lucky enough to live and work in Hawaii and was able to bring that specialty and knowledge of Asian weddings over to the Seattle market. And so I actually specialize in Pacific Islander and Chinese, Japanese, Filipino, Samoan, Vietnamese, Thai, you name it, I specialize in it. So that was one of the biggest things that set me apart. So I think that alone kind of has its own branding to me because I am looked at as the Asian wedding specialist here in the Seattle market. In addition to that, one of the things that we have on our website for my team and I is fun, genuine, and authentic. And I think that we as a company really try and live by those three words. We really like to be really friendly and really outgoing and really warm, and it's something that we really pride ourselves on. So just finding kind of who you are and not being afraid to really speak your voice. So everything that we do from point A to point Z in a wedding, we really try and live by those three words. We want it to be a fun, relaxing process for our couples. It should be a fun process. They only do this once, so let them enjoy it and try and keep the stress as minimal as possible. And then genuine and authentic, I think, kind of go hand in hand. But we are real people. We make mistakes. We really, try and do our absolute best, but things happen. So I think it's also being really honest and open with your couples. Hey, if something didn't quite go as planned or, whatever, just kind of owning up to it and really being real with them, because I think that they appreciate that a lot more than anything. And then lastly, the thing that we're really excited about is my entire team and I are huge animal lovers. I personally own 2 golden retrievers. We have 2 cats. We have 9 chickens. We have 3 beehives. So we have a lot of animals here in the Grant household. With that, we're actually trying to make animals part of our story and our company in terms of really just creating that warmth and that genuine environment. So we're actually going to be doing an upcoming shoot coming up in April that's going to be featuring my team and my animals from all varieties. And so it should be incredibly chaotic, but it's going to be a lot of fun too, to be able to feature our team's animals, and just kind of that's part of our life and something that's really important. And I think it also makes us more approachable, because you want to be sure that you're finding that connection with your couples, and we tend to attract a lot of animal people. So I've had the privilege of working with couples that have been on the board of Seattle Humane Society, and people that bring their pets to meetings and their pets as part of their weddings. So that's something that I found that not only besides the Asian specialty, but that I really connect with my couples on. And it makes it really just an easy time where they can bring their pets and not have to stress about, oh my gosh, we have an evening meeting and my dog's at home. They don't have to worry about it. They can bring their dog. Quite often my pups are part of our meetings too. So anyway, those are kind of my personal branding tips. Fun, genuine, authentic Asian wedding specialties, and really connecting with your couples on a personal level and finding that connection. For me, it happens to be pets. So I'll hope to see you all soon at the Masterclass. Have a great day.
Hello everyone, and thank you, Quynh, for inviting me to have this conversation with you all about branding. I wanted to start out and tell you a little bit about my background, because this is something not everybody knows, and I was thinking about it today, and it's really quite relevant. I actually went to school quite a while ago and got my degree in graphic design and in branding design, basically, and I was also part of the marketing club and the advertising club, and really immersed myself into the world by creating designs. So it's interesting for me to think back on my career and to think back of all the different places that I've worked, and how everything I was doing at that point was really building on this concept of branding. So I've tried to pull it all together in a quick, 7 points here and share this out with you on what I have learned and how it works best. So that's the first question. What is branding? And there's a lot of conversation out there about this, because it's so vague. I mean, there's no real thing that you can say is branding. I think what it is really, it's a collaborative, it's a bunch of different things that come together. But I think what holds it all together is that it is how people perceive you. It's not what you're putting out to them, it's what they see in you. And you really cannot define that as much as you'd want to. But what you can do is you can encourage, or you can set things up to give voice to what you want your brand to be, but it's really about the people looking at you that determines what your brand is. So, some of the things that I think are really important in branding is that everything that comes out of your company, everything that goes out towards those looking at your company, there's a consistency. So think of every single touch point, whether it be, your logo, whether it be a video you do, whether it be the response that you have when somebody writes to you and complains or says, this is the best bouquet ever. So think about that. Every single touch point that you have with your audience is an opportunity to brand. So that to me is the number one thing that I would say you need to think about when you're talking about your branding. So one of the things that I really thought about when I started my company about 6 years ago was my why. I knew what I was. I was a website that offered craft tutorials, but my why was deeper than that, and that's where I really wanted my voice to come from. And my why at that point, and still is that I was to inspire, teach, and reignite creativity. And I wrote that on my wall, and everything I did, everything that I put out there really focused on that vibration of making sure that it had that sort of resonance. And in addition to that, I wanted to kind of add some words, like what do I want people to feel when they look at my brand? What emotions do I want them to feel? And what sort of words could I put on that kind of encapsulates the look or the feel or the vibration of my brand? And some of the words that I came up with, and you can come up with your own too, is timeless and accessible and crisp and lush. So those are words that I also use, especially when I'm doing something that might be a little bit more visual. The fifth thing that I wanted to talk about is that once you have this why, and once you have kind of your words and you know the direction and the feel that you want people to perceive you, that's when you can start working on your logo. That's when you start picking your color palette, and you do your website and your social media platforms. And I really, really, of course, as a graphic designer, highly recommend you guys work with a professional. Find someone who can design a logo for you that you can carry through for years and years to come, that you don't have to upgrade or change it. So, you know, kind of think about that if you have the budget to do that. And then with all of that, I'm going to spin back to the whole idea of consistency. So wherever you put anything out, if it's with your logo, without your logo, or if it's a video, or if it's even an email or a voicemail, whatever it might be, make for sure that there's a consistency, because that, again, that's going to, a consistency will give your readers and your viewers or your customers the confidence that you are this person that you're saying you are. If you are incongruent and you have this one thing that's a little off, they will kind of lose trust in you. They'll not be sure if that what you say is actually true, because something's not quite on. So consistency, absolutely very, very important. And the last thing I wanted to say was, give yourself the space to evolve. You know, right now you're starting your business, or you have a business that you've been working on, but you think that you know what you are, but know that things are going to shift and change, and you'll find new avenues. So give yourself some space to evolve your brand and to nurture it. We just did. We updated our website and we added in a new color palette. We had a lot of teal going on, and now we're adding in a little bit of pink, because we want that soft kind of masculine feminine balance. So again, just give yourself a lot of space to evolve and to grow and learn, and, you know, have fun with this. I think branding is a really, really great way to start off your company. So good luck with that, and we'll see you in a few weeks.